So in that regard, like you can, and like another thing you could do to like safeguard your home investment is like, okay, don't buy the best house in the block. Let's buy the middle of the pack, not the worst. 'Cause we're not renovators, but like in the over time, I want to update a kitchen and make it my own. Okay, well that would be worth something down the road for equity. I want to do a bathroom down the road. Okay, that would be something down the road for equity. When you're trying to buy a house as an investment vehicle, I don't think that is the way to look at your single family home that you're going to live in and raise your family in. Because like, even if let's say you do look at it as an investment vehicle, so let's just you and me are good arguments here, right? If we were to both sell our houses now and not realize the term of this amortization, we would walk away with really good returns on buying our houses.
Yeah, I wouldn't be sad. I mean, I would the next day, because then when my realtor tells me what I have to spend on the next spot, I'm gonna feel real fucking upset. Um, but yes, I will be
Come to
happy.
me.
Yeah, well, I'll be just as mad with you as I will be with whoever it is. Like, but yes,
No, I meant like move to the valley,
yeah.
not lit,
Sorry,
not.
sorry. Yeah, yeah. I'll buy that house next door for some odd $1 million. Um,
It's sold.
oh, too bad. Yeah,
Yeah.
no, like I cannot not look at my place and be like, this was a good investment for me.
Yeah, just
Okay.
little shoulder,
You
little
know what I
back
mean? I,
pat.
I can't. And others are in the same position, but I can assure you, I did not walk into it being like, this is going to be a good investment for me. Like, no.
I think for first time home buyers, we're talking about to that market, like your first home should really be just getting your foot into home ownership. And if you want to talk about investments, like, okay, do something with a good comparable where like a good renovation, like a kitchen, some flooring, like comes into play. Did you like the word comparable just break your soul?
Sorry. Was that a visceral that was a visceral like no,
Yeah.
sorry. Um, I think when you're shopping for a house, and this is a good little cue for, I mean, even for yourself, for a sales pitch as a realtor, as you're walking through a house, the client, and I did this when I did my house. And that's what I said at the start, where it was like, I was comfortable with the purchase price because I was also comfortable in the fact that I could not foresee the value going much more below where I was asking, because again, they wanted a number and I was going fairly far below that. And I felt the top number they wanted was a reasonable ask for the house. But I was an arsehole and a single guy and figured less money in your pocket is more money in mine. And I like that equation. But I was looking at it too as like, what happens if the values come down? Because I have lived places elsewhere in this country where that happened. And you watch
Right.
somebody get a $700,000 house, and then a few years later, it's 400,000. So, hey, things do come down. It's not just gravity that does it. So, like, you know, for me, as you walk as a first time home buyer or somebody that's looking to get into a house, besides like, the sheer, intoxicating excitement about it and like looking at places and all this other stuff, just have a flicker of a thought in your mind. What does this look like if this goes down in value? Right? Like
Right.
what
Right. Because
are
right.
you and I think that aligns with what you're saying with the investment, because that's what an investor does. An investor buys low
Yep.
and is like,
Yep.
this is kind of the floor already. And if I increase the
There's
value, it should go up just based on what I'm doing. But it really, oh, fuck, is it going to go much below where I'm at now? Probably not, because there's holes in the walls and
there
everything else. Right.
I like there's like real when you talk about real estate investing, like people there you can make it so fucking complicated with all the different strategies and all the different workarounds and all of the levers you can pull from. Real estate investing is super simple. Can I grow it in value or can I grow it in a monthly income? Those are like your two levers in terms of it. And when you're buying a home to live in, the lever of monthly income, that's a loss factor. You're talking about maintenance and utility costs and everything in there. So then you're betting on equity and the value of the home going up. Now, if you buy a turnkey, move in ready, brand new build at market value, you are living and dying by the market. Like, there's no lever to pull. You bought a brand new house.
Well, that's like
You're
Ontario.
just
There's houses
and
now that are 15-20% below what they went for and what the people bought for. So now they have to
more
stay in that mortgage to ride out the wave or take the loss. So like if
and, like,
if part of your brain
hold
is
on.
thinking, okay, I'm buying this house and it's definitely going to go up in value, so we're going to be in good shape. Your brain better be saying to you what happens if it doesn't. Like
Do you know
you
what
got to
you know what
look
I
at
love
both
about you know
sides
what I
of
love
the
about
coin.
you? Is you are I know what you're thinking of when you talk about this specifically. You were talking about the fucking CMHC report we did in June,
Yes.
where it was like 71% of
It's
first-time
like
home buyers thought that
74.
their home
Like 70, like 3/4 of the people that buy a house think, oh, it's going up in value. And I get it.
it's going up.
We've been trained that way since our parents had their first houses. Like, the house goes up, I get old, I sell house, give you kid my money. Right? Like that's just how the nature
It's
of
been.
things with David Suzuki works in this country. But it's like, if that's the mindset you're going into it, you have to be okay with if it doesn't go that way. Like you have to at least
And they're
entertain
not.
the idea that it
Well, okay,
won't go that way. It might not go that way.
we'll ask we'll ask Ontario. You talk about Ontario, everyone that bought peak Ontario 2022, they're most of them are getting the crap kicked out of them. And then like you think about the numbers, like I don't know if you've ever seen them. Do you have Twitter? Do you spend any time on Twitter? Okay. Well, there's an account. I don't know what his name is. It's Shazzy or Shammy or something. I should get him on as a guest. He is the most savage poster of real estate defaults in Ontario and bank repossessions. And all he does is he's like, they bought for this in 2022,
Yeah.
and the bank just repossessed it for this, or like they bought it at this and they just sold for this. And all that guy is saying is like, he's pointing out that the market doesn't always go up. It doesn't always rise. Doesn't always good times. The other point, though, if you're playing devil's advocate here of why you shouldn't buy a house, think about it this way: if you bought a house in Ontario for $2 million in 2022, and that is a 30% down payment, it's a pretty
Like,
significant
yeah,
like 30.
you're over 1.5 and then it's 10% each time. And after that, yeah. So like you're not putting 5% down. You're 20.
No,
Yeah.
it's 20, 25. If you go 25%, that's $500,000 down payment.
Yeah.
Okay, plus your closing costs. So the argument could be, instead of buying that house for $2 million, you should have rented and then put that in an investment and had a return. Because what's happened now is, bet you now that the house is worth because I think Ontario's down 30%, I think right now is what it's down. So now you're looking at a value of $1.4 million. So you've lost $600,000 in equity or value since you purchased. That's 4 years ago. You've definitely not paid that down in fucking payments. So you might look back at your purchase and be like, why did I buy this thing when I could have done X and not be in, like $500,000 worth of debt
Timing,
plus real estate fees because you're gonna have to sell it.
timing is everything, and it's the hardest thing to predict. Like
You can't time the
you
market.
cannot time the market, but like when you look back, you're like, fuck. Like,
The only time you can time the market realistically is if you know something that's happening in that area
I mean, like
before, like, you know what I mean?
if there's some massive like data center that's coming to town and it needs
That's what I'm
houses,
saying.
or like, I don't know, we're just coming out of a brutal recession or
Oh,
at
you
a
know what? No,
COVID or
no, I
something
got one.
ridiculous, right?
I got one. Uh, I don't know how. Like, I know for a fact that the Canadian military is looking at Greenwood and turning it into the largest Air Force base in Canada. So now Greenwood is getting pumped with people, and
And
you look at that and you go,
and everywhere's around it.
right, right. So if you're looking at that and you're playing, like, it's going to take them 10 years to grow that thing to where they want it to be, for it to be the largest airbase in Canada. Okay, play the long game. Go buy a shithole in Greenwood and just sit on it for five.
There's a guy
Supply and
there's
demand.
a guy I see on YouTube, and that's all he does in the States is like he's like all about the burr, buy, renovate, refi,
Yeah.
everything else, right? So yeah, but his thing is, when you find a happening city, or spot that's got good economic activity that's going on, don't buy in the city. Go out.
Bird.
Go out
Yeah.
another
Yeah.
20, 30, 40 clicks to start buying there. And again, that's what I did, but didn't know I was doing it at the time.